Hello and welcome back, my friends. Once again, this is Hambbage, and you found yourself into the Hardcore Vanilla Minecraft videos. Thanks so much for dropping by. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I know I am. It's Thursday. It's beautiful outside. It's just starting to feel a little bit warm, like summer. I think we're just jumping through 80 degrees and heading on up to the mid 90s today. So that's awesome. But it is also time to get back into our 1.17.1 world. So let's get going, huh? Get this slide out of the way. That's super. Yeah, Minecraft doesn't care about my stories. Not that I have too many. I kind of shared my updates from the world in the previous video. The main one being I slept for 10 hours straight last night. I tell you, it's amazing what driving long distances does. They felt like such kind of light days, from a physical activity sense, anything like that. It didn't feel like much, man. We gotta wait for that mountain to spawn in. do 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 do. Anyway, yeah, man, the long drives, they will they'll sneak up on you. So I was pretty well done in, and it woke up feeling great today, just ready to go. So um, I'm glad you're here, and get after it. So yeah, we climbed a mountain, or more accurately, we climbed a little island mountain and then flew over to a bigger mountain at the end, towards the end of the last episode. We also discovered an amethyst geode, which was amazing. But we kind of, since it was the first one, we kind of wanted to leave it natural and not just go in bashing up crystals or anything. So we wandered around inside it, listened to the awesome wind chime sounding blocks as we stepped on the various surfaces, and then kind of went on our way. Left it beautiful for the next adventurers to find. Now, they will not all be so lucky when it comes to it, because we got them. We also want to make sure that we get some of that amethyst stone. I think we can make blocks out of it. It can definitely be decorative. And I don't know what more it can, is it trading? Any of that kind of stuff? One thing that was mentioned in the game notes, and I know nothing about, was that Wandering Trader has some new items. Oh boy, this just got real. Yeah, just what I wanted you to do. That looks like a new one too. What? Mall? I don't know if that's a new record, but like for the game, but new to me. In this game for sure. I don't know. Was Mall around, or is that new? New, like 117 new. Okay. We wanted to explore caves. We're now doing it. So two things. We want to find this Deep Slate, and we want to get an answer as to can we get below the old base level of the world. Come on up here and say that, Skilly. So yeah, I mean, it kind of seems silly I don't already know that. I'm sure it's, excuse me. I can't remember. I had a sneeze last night or this morning. Like I said, I slept really hard. Really needed it. And, yeah, it was hot enough. I didn't really like open doors and windows and stuff to air things out until I woke up this morning. It's one of those deals where, you know, if it's 80, 90 degrees outside, you don't want to just use that for your indoor air. And so when I'd first gotten home, I didn't open things up too much. And then that first morning, I hadn't gotten to sleep well enough, so I kind of ended up sleeping a little later than I normally would. It was already hot by the time I woke up. So it was really only, last night that would have been possible. And I was like, I think it got to like 9 a.m. and I was just done. I looked at the clock and was like, no, I don't think I'm going to watch anything, do anything more. I'm just going to bed. 1 second. Wow, that sneeze was so good. I'm like hitting escape repeatedly trying to get back into to the world. Oh, one thing I should do. Let's pull that back just a bit. Let me know in the comments how the volume levels are. I bumped up the game volume a bit in the last episode to get the chime sounds from the amethyst, and I hadn't turned them back. So apologize if the game was kind of drowning out the voice or anything like that. Not the intent to deafen folks. How long until somebody comes up behind me? That's always the question when you get to one of those kind of zombie swarms. Lots of good, but I'm not that I'm complaining, but I'm not seeing the coppers so much right at the moment here. All right. heard your little bow drawing back there, pal. Can you... Check the old inventory, see how we're doing. More iron. More iron. Apparently it's nighttime. Now what I'd like is, just to find one of those shaft kind of deals that just goes straight down. Or a ravine. A ravine would be great too, but something that really gets us down into the depths. And we can see if we can expand on those wide levels. The other quick answer, which we can certainly do too, is just build up above the old build height, and if that lets us go, we have our answer. But I mean, come on, which is more fun? Just building a tower of blocks, or diving into the depths of the mines and seeing if we can go deeper? Iron. So at some point here, we'll have to. We don't. Well, yes, eventually we have to go back to our little mine. Is it copper-clad mine? Is that what we called it? Like copper-clad cookware. Because Hambbage. Oh, that's exciting news! I didn't tell everybody in the last episode. So this morning when I got up, having gone to the grocery store yesterday to resupply after vacation, kind of get stocked back up on all the basics and all that, I was looking around. I'm a big proponent of chicken, a fan, I guess you could say. Like it for the grilling in the summer. It's very nice to add into salads and things, but my closest grocery store is fairly small. And, they say, hey, if you want specialty goods and stuff, go to other branches that are bigger stores, and we'll have more of those specialty type items and stuff, which is cool. I get that. That's fine. You don't need to have a huge everything grocery store every 2 miles, in a neighborhood. And so this one's great for, quick trips out, get everything, and then like once a month or so, there's some gold. Look at the new gold ore. That's cool. Every month or so, I'll go to a big grocery store, or if I'm looking for something special, if I'm making something that requires a particular ingredient, whatever, then I'll go to the bigger stores. Well, 99% of the time I can find everything I need. Sometimes you got to modify a little bit, but right at my little local store. But when I went in, I was like, here we have two kind of specialty brands of chicken. There's, and this may be nationwide, I don't know, but we have Purdue, and then Redbird Farms is the other one. And they're both, we only feed our chickens special grub worm diet, and, there's no nothing. And I get that. And I actually do, I think a lot of times you can taste the difference in those kind of things. But, I mean, the difference is they're charging sometimes close to $6 a pound for chicken. And the regular chicken you get is like under $2 a pound. That's a huge difference in chicken. And I, unless I was doing something super specific, I'm not the person who feels that I'm doing myself a disservice um, just to buy, not buying the name brand, even though they're talking about all that marketing stuff. And again, remember I did, while I wasn't a farmer or anything like that, I did work for a farmer in agribusiness type stuff, and I kind of got to experience their take on a lot of that kind of stuff. What's good, what's not, and in my opinion, it just because um, something some things don't guarantee that there are no hormones or antibiotics or anything like that. It's not something that just automatically means that the other stuff is garbage. And you should consider that everything is marketing. They're trying to introduce a demand for their own product, and so if they're not using those kind of things, it means, all right, well, how can we differentiate from the people that are? And then how do we make that stand out or appealing? So, if you either market to people's concerns, whether accurate or not, um, or just, leave the indications there, that's a way that you can justify. Now, does that to me justify an extra $4 a pound for chicken? No, obviously for me it doesn't. At least most of the time. Maybe if I was having like a really fancy dinner or something, and wanted grilled chicken to be the highlight and wasn't doing anything else to it. I just wanted the pure flavor of the chicken to stand alone. Yeah, then maybe, then maybe it's worth it for a very special occasion. But for everyday stuff, just because you hear the ads on the TV or the radio, yeah, that to me, that's just inflating market. And so I I don't look to spend all that much personally. But that is all aside the point of the story that I was telling. Now that I get back to it, which is that um, when I was in the store, I couldn't find any of the 199 or whatever it is chicken. The stuff that has no label. It comes out of the the grocery store's butcher, and it's just it's not unlabeled. It's still got nutrition info and all that kind of stuff, but it's not fancy marketing or any of that kind of stuff. No crazy graphics or any of that. It's just chicken in a pouch, right? And you go from there. And yeah, it isn't guaranteed organic. It isn't necessarily guaranteed no hormones or no anything like that. But um, I having a background in history, kind of look at those things as positives in a way. It is exactly those scientifically developed um, enhancements to feed that that go on to ensure that we don't have food shortages. That here people have enough to eat, and that we can effectively then supply a lot of foodstuffs back out to the rest of the world. And there are certainly conflict areas in the world and political reasons where people can't and don't have enough to eat. Um, but by and large, just due to agriculture, the idea of famine really no longer exists. It's pretty amazing. We crop failure on a massive, wide scale doesn't cause entire population. If you ever read about, like French Revolution and stuff like that, a big part of what fomented the French Revolution, in addition to just the general desire of the people to have a better life and all that, and frustration with the nobility, but it was because there was a very early frost that year that killed all of the crops before they had a chance to harvest. And everybody knew going in that it was going to be miserable. And, parents suddenly had to wonder if their children would survive. What are we as a country going to eat this winter? Because the bread and all of the produce stuff is now gone. Just never even had a chance. And that's something we don't have to worry about as almost a world. Certainly here in the United States, we have, irrigation and things like that. But more importantly, everybody that, frowns on GMO, the total buzzword. GMO is horrible. It's awful. That you never want GMO. Yeah, but genetically modifying, which means natural. Not natural, but enhanced selection or intelligent selection of particular traits, is actually a really good thing. You're breeding crops to, and again, my background primarily was sweet corn, right? And the enhancements that were made just by selectively breeding, changing the corn breeds, or the seed that you plant of the corn to have the best traits, made it so that corn, the old saying when our grandchildren and everybody were little, and people still say it, is the corn knee high by the 4th of July? If so, it's doing well and it will be ready for harvest before the frost. And that's what today we call field corn, or corn that is going to be feed. And even that doesn't get planted too much anymore because it's so inferior to all of the later strains that even for feed corn, there are better varieties that are out there. So what does that mean? Well, it means that over the years that that varieties of corn and things like that have been getting bred, they take the seeds of the plants that mature the fastest, quickest, or are the most resistant to pests, and they say, okay, let's take the seeds from those corn plants and allow them to fertilize and give us new corn seeds, and instead of eating those for dinner this time, we're going to plant those next year, and so on and so forth over generations, and then you get corn that consistently is ready to go. So now the idea that corn being knee-high by the 4th of July is totally irrelevant, right? Everybody eats sweet corn on the 4th of July because it's now ready to go. And, corn, which used to take a full growing season to get ready, regardless of the variety, now breeds. It's probably changed a lot too since I was there, but it used to be like 50, 60 days, which is just over a month. But if you think, all right, for your earliest crop, you'll risk a little bit of frost damage, so you can get that in. And of course, growing regions vary too. but in that upper Midwest kind of grain belt, you know, the Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, Minnesota. I don't know. I think the Dakotas are a bit too dry for a lot of corn. Kind of in that southeastern corner of South Dakota, Wisconsin, and I don't know how much Michigan grows in the middle of Michigan of the lower peninsula. But you know, those places you can kind of rush a bit and go, okay, it's worth the risk for a first planting to risk a little bit of frost. And again, frost hardiness is another trait that they'll breed up in particular varieties. So your earliest corn may be one set of seeds, and then you'll plant other varieties later. So yeah, you know, nowadays we just in the store right now, there's loads of sweet corn, and some of that may be imported from other places. I don't know, but you know, throughout most of the United States, there is fresh, locally grown corn and stuff starting right, you know, around now in the beginning of June, things like that. So those are good reasons for crops to be enhanced and grown intentionally or intelligently. Where was my little stairway that I was growing out of? I don't know. Here's the... Okay, we're just back around to this side. And now is this level 11? Yeah. Okay. We'd like to not necessarily go down through the lava lake, but we just want to see, will we hit bedrock, or will we keep going into some deeper depths that we've never seen before? And for those of you guys who don't know, what am I talking about? There were some updates and commentary that build height and world depth would both be increased. And I don't remember the exact numbers, but there was this idea that, you know, well, see, so maybe not now, maybe not ever. I mean, this sure looks like bedrock. Kinda looks like the same old base of the world I've always seen. So I don't think we're getting lower there unless there's a mechanism built into... Yeah, but again, with part 1, part 2, maybe that's coming. That would be a huge... relative, you know, to everything else that's going on in the game, that would be a huge change to change the world dynamic. Pretty formidable. So I think we've answered that one. Now, how did we get here? Where's our stairs? Whatever. Up. And just going up until we go back down. Oh, how about this? There's our stairs. And I think maybe this way? Ooh, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, what's this though? Remember I was asking for a shaft to go deep? Boom. Well, here we are. A little late, but better late than never, right? Maybe it'll be our exit. Again, we'll take all this coal because we can bring that back. We can repair our tools a little, you know, not as well as we can with the nether quartz, but every little bit. And of course, let's not forget, we still want to cook a lot of sandstone for our builds back at our initial spawn. And glass and stone and ores and everything else. Maybe up like... Huh. Seems dangerous. Why don't we stand under an open hole next to a chasm and see if anything comes and drops on our head? Should we go this way? We still haven't seen any like underwater lakes and or axolatls. To my knowledge, we haven't just passed by the Deep Slate. Is that what it is? Deep Slate? Cobble and all that? I don't see anything down there. It's again getting pretty full. 20 more, so we should have a couple spots. Just fill those up. Oh, I guess we can, oh, maybe we can't. Maybe we kept all those, so. Mr. Lime Green, you're up. We're going to probably have to go through like an entire episode of sorting when we do get back to our main base. But that's alright. I mean, that means we got a lot of good stuff, right? Any more odd stuff? I don't think so. Okay, now you go there. I think these are all pretty full. Just totally random boxes full of stuff. I mean, glass, it's a good box. I'm not complaining about it, but why I didn't put those more obviously to pick them all up, don't know. Okay, there's that. Snack. So yeah, we're still wondering about some kind of what I expect are underworld goodies, maybe all around lakes. And I think that, like the caves, whatever, the Whitewater Rapids and rafting and all that kind of stuff, that was all intentionally held to be a part of part 2. And the boss, the warden, is that what it was? That was held. I just had a thought. It's silly and long way away, but we were talking about the wax for the copper, right? To scrape and place wax on the copper, presumably to keep it from oxidizing. But that's probably where the candles come from too, right? Using our honeycomb to to somehow make beeswax, which we can then candleify. Again, perfect for kind of my setting of this world and the 18th and 19th century kind of settlement we have around our overworld base back at near spawn instead of this remote location. Which, for now, I don't want to get into a huge additional build here. We got so much to do back home, and that's going to keep us busy when we do get there. I would like to remain focused enough to get that done. I know it's such a temptation, new stuff. Oh, we're going to build, we're just going to pick up roots and resettle and be out here now. And that, that's okay. And I'd certainly like to do some building out with the new stuff, but at least until we get kind of buttoned down, we don't need to or want to do too much of that. All right, here we are back probably at dusk in the flowery section. I don't know if this is dawn or dusk. Is that sun? Ooh, looks like it's rising, which probably means that something's about ready to get us. Here's the mountains that we screenshotted. I did make a backup of that as like an alternate to be used, at some kind of time in the future. A lot of times, if I have a couple different ones, I'll try to take the one that's most specific to whatever we're doing and use that as that episode's thumbnail. And then if there's a more generic of the two, I'll just keep it as an alternate. A lot of times I either forget or the shots that I tried to get for thumbnails don't turn out. So it's good to have a few. I mean, much like hardcore Minecraft, right? It's good to have spares of stuff, and it's good to have a good supply. So never hurts to have a few extra thumbnail screenshots around. And the one that I had taken at the very end of the last episode, where we were standing under the tree looking out towards the mountains with a flower fortress. Again, not anything specific to 117, not crazy. It's just a nice little picture, and one that could be used for any content, and still just be okay. Yeah, that's a nice little shot. So I'll look forward to having that. Now we're back over in these mountains to potentially find the powder snow. Oh, the powder snow. Gift of God. I'm not an overly religious person. I definitely have faith and, try to live a moral and worthy life of whatever grace and miracle made us appreciate this cosmos that we share. But I'm not overly churchy, I guess, would be the way to put it, or evangelical. I'm not somebody that gets out there in your face. I think there are moments, and usually they are based on the audience's need to hear it. It's why the intervention that is so popular on TV shows and stuff like that for addicts. Families can know and see the self-destructive behavior that's going on with an addict, but they're even if you sit them down in a room and everybody gets in and says, "Oh, you need to change." I don't know the percentages. I'm sure though that they're relatively low in terms of lasting change. That's just not how in the dark moments when nobody's around, if it's an addict or anything else, you're not thinking of your family and what it's going to do. When whatever it may be, that ham sandwich is staring you in the face, or that extra piece of pie that you're supposed to be avoiding for health and weight reasons and everything else. It's when you're staring in the glow of that refrigerator and everybody else is asleep. That's when you're going to have the trouble, not when everybody's sitting around and you're most thinking about, oh, what would they think, or what would it do to my kids if I wasn't around, because I had a heart attack, and that kind of, I'm obviously mixing a lot of metaphors there, but I think you can visualize it. Well, I I find a lot of spiritual renewal, and that reminder that we live a blessed life just by being able to be aware of how the world has developed and has a history around us. We're not like cows, for instance. Sorry, cows, if you guys are actually a super intelligent form of life and are just really good at hiding it from us, or so advanced that we cannot appreciate your higher intellect as you sit there chewing on your hay or grass or whatever you're eating out there in the field, and basically not doing a whole lot about it. Fair enough, my bad. But it would appear that you guys don't really make a deep association with the unique gift of life that you live. You're sitting there able to enjoy the sky and the breeze and the sunshine and everything else, same as we are. You just don't have a lot of self-determination of that. But we get to. And the fact that water falls on our planet in so many different forms and varieties is amazing. It just fine changes in humidity and temperature and wind and dust particles in the air can change the simple crystalline structure of a snowflake, from something that's going to be large and trap lots of moisture into it, to something that's going to be lacy and fine and relatively dry. It's amazing. And the fact that one of the forms of precipitating frozen water in our world then piles up in such a way that you can strap boards to your feet and it will suspend you nearly weightless as you move over its surface. It is one of those things that to me always determines that, yeah, there's a higher power, and God, in whatever form you personally want to think of God, has a delight and a sense of adventure and fun and freedom to have given us that gift. So there's my deep rambling. But what I realized is, I through the chicken story and all that kind of stuff, I never got to the point of what I was trying to say. I couldn't get any chicken, right? I was going to grill chicken. I was restocking on salads and stuff like that, ready to go. I'm like, oh yeah, it's summer. Grill up some more chicken and have it to cut up, put over salad, or just have grilled, or whatever you might do with chicken. I do a lot of different stuff with it. But yeah, I didn't want to pay $6 a pound for the fancy chicken. I didn't need it that bad, and they didn't have any chicken breasts for the regular stuff, except for like the family econo tub, which I kind of laugh. The unsliced, full-on chicken breast, which they're thick and huge. Usually, what you see, if you just go to the grocery store and get chicken breasts, those are already sliced in half, and usually the butcher does it. They'll trim them, and that's the best chance that you have for grilling them. Otherwise, you're kind of into a baking mode to get the inner part of the chicken cooked without just charring the outside, no matter how low you're cooking it. So I didn't want those. I couldn't have used them. I would have just ended up freezing them, and with meat and stuff like that. Yeah, it's nice to have some things in the freezer, but I don't do well at planning the defrost and all that to get them ready to go. And certainly for grilling and stuff like that, I'd rather just have them fresh. So I said, you know what? Fair enough. I don't need that. I had gotten some sausages that I can use for grilling. Um, Not like breakfast sausage, like they're like a chicken based. I think they were a new style of. It's like an Italian chicken grilling sausage, like a brat kind of deal, but grilling sausage. And these had peppers and onions in them, which sounded great. But I hadn't seen that particular variety, and it's kind of nice. So I got some of those to try out, and then I got a pork shank or ham shank, and that's exciting news because that means for the first time since recording, in my kitchen, right behind me, is a actual batch of Hambbage being starting to slow cook right now. So I've got some carrots and onions in there with a little bit of chicken broth and about a third chicken broth to 2/3 water. And right now that's it. It's the shank, which I haven't used. I've used ham bones and stuff to make soup, and I'm assuming this is kind of going to be the same. But yeah, I've got it in there, and that's basically a shank. It's just I guess that's the lower leg of a pig. I don't know. It's fairly short, but it kind of looks like a turkey drumstick very loosely, but you can tell it's a limb, not not like the bacon coming off the back fat or anything like that. So it's good, and that will all cook and soften over hours today. And the onions and the carrots go in. Carrots because they take a longer time to soften up like that. And then the final crowning ingredient, in fact, will go in very late in the process. And that is, of course, the cabbage. I got a head of cabbage still waiting, still chilling in the fridge. Because, if you cook that for the same amount of time that it takes to cook the carrots and the onions and the ham shank, you're going to be down to, just a film and a hint of what might have once been cabbage. So you want to put that in late just so it retains just a little bit of strength. It's still going to be fairly soft by the time, even with a little cooking time in the crock pot. But I like to add that fairly late in the process. So yeah, I'm going to have some real Hambbage to talk about and be delighted with. As we get back, we're getting close to our time here. Let's see if we can find our way back to our temporary base. That 3170 tells us kind of which way we got to go, I guess. I don't have my coordinates up here. I don't know why Windows decides that every time you click on a separate window, it's then time to pop up one of the many notifications that it sent you 800 times before. I'm so glad that it didn't find any threats on my system. That's why I try to maintain a secure system. But thanks for telling me for the 8 billionth time. Copper-clad mine stair, 19,959. So we're only a couple hundred blocks off on the X, and 1332. So we're only 1,800 or so blocks this way west, maybe? I don't know. We just got to make Z go down to 1332. We should be within sight of where we're going. All right, back to it. We need rockets. And up, up, and away. Okay, not that way. Now that one's going down a little bit. Okay. We don't need that to go up. Okay, here's your desert. Ooh, look at that little ravine. That's cool. That was this one we'd already visited. That looks new, right? Oh. Plop, plop. Plop, plop. Oh, Mr. Lime Green. Golden. Decent. More golden. Diamonds. Feather falling one. Not too bad. Alright. What all can we unload here? Where we got the flowers from, but okay. That totally fills up that box, and now we've got all this other stuff to deal with. Bones. Not a whole lot we can just stack up. Alright, let's get back. I know we're now kind of let's just see. May not be worth flying. Only got a couple hundred blocks. And And on the diagonal, we should be getting both of those. Don't fall. Don't fall. Good. As much fun as that adventure would be. So I think up beyond that. That one I think we've seen. In theory, we'll eventually see some torches up on the corners. I think they're now in view. Man, a spyglass. If there was just something like that we could use. And then will we back around this way, maybe? Oh, wait, we still want to be at like 30 on this. So maybe back this way. Wow. Fine navigating. Told you I got to all turn around when we were first looking at those temples like 2 episodes ago. Oh. It's starting to smell a little bit of onion and ham smell. It's just after 10 a.m. my time now. So by the time that gets done, okay, there's the village and there was another temple over there. Yeah, by the time all of that gets cooked, the whole place is going to just smell like heaven. It's such a good flavor smell. Hey, bees. Hi, bees. Alright, now back this way. Is that our mesa? I think it is. The little cave is right over here where we found the amethysts. Somewhere over against that kind of flat surface is where a torch lives. So I don't know how or what or where to find the powder snow, unless maybe it's just in the tundra, not in the mountains. So that's a mystery to remain. And we still haven't found anything that indicates the Axolatls. Not Axolatls. Axolatls to us. So we got a lot of stuff left to figure out. I think next episode is going to be our return and resupply, and then come on back out. We got so many boxes full of so much random stuff that it would be nice to maybe balance it out, or at least, I don't know, sort what we have into some better groupings. I don't know. I kind of feel like if we can just dump all the nether junk and just have overworld junk and, come back and do all that, we'd be better off. Plus, we got pets and things that they want to know all about our adventures. We got a water s'mores orchid. I'm sure it's wilted. Still no water there. Might not be a thing. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I know I have. We found... what did we find? We didn't find too terribly much. We found gold ore and redstone ore with the new textures. But we didn't didn't have any deep slate. Confirmed that we could not go deeper than the old base, at least the old bedrock base depth of the world. So that was something. We found an enchanted golden apple. Let's not forget about that. That's pretty awesome. So um, good all around there. We will obviously be back for more, but yeah, in the meantime, we're gonna try to sort out our inventory, get a little bit more figured out there, and then we can kind of get back into a system of pulling the good stuff. And I'd really like to find another amethyst geode, one that we can kind of clear out and just destroy, transport to our own original base area. So we'll do all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we haven't found the glow squids, we haven't found the axolatls, any of that kind of stuff yet. So we got a lot more exploring to do. And yeah, I don't know if doing the equivalent of like diamond branch mining on the surface in the new chunks would maybe do something, or if we just keep hitting ravines and all that kind of stuff until we go. We'll figure it out, though. It'll all be good. Anyway, as the game's telling me, and I can never disagree with a game, I gotta go take a frequent break and see just how unbearably hot it's gotten in the last hour outside. Probably not too bad yet, but it's building today. So you guys take care of yourselves. Take a break while I do, or at least as you're playing and or watching a video. Remember, get up, walk around, stretch those legs. Your body needs the help to pump the blood through, get it recirculating out throughout all your limbs, and hydrate while you're at it. So take care of yourselves and one another. Stay the awesome people that you are. And if you've enjoyed, why don't you go ahead and hit that like button, or leave me a comment. Let me know what content you did enjoy or what other stuff you might like to see. Until next time, we'll wish you well and see you back here real soon. Bye now.